Hey, what's up, guys? Dr. Feelgood here, back again for another video prescription. This will be a multi-part series, and it's going to be focusing on the lack of risk in the gaming industry. And today, this first part, we will tackle the developer aspect. If you are like me and have been gaming for several generations, you know that back in the NES era, developers had to take all risk. If they wanted to put a game on the Nintendo Entertainment System, they had to pay for everything and take all the risk. This meant they had to purchase the proprietary medium, which was the cartridge, directly from Nintendo. They had to pay licensing fees. They had to also fund the project themselves. So they assumed nearly all, if not all, the risk. Now, when your own money is on the line, when your own business, your own idea, you're going to put everything you have into it to make sure it succeeds. Let's be honest. Now, when you assume all the risk, you don't have time to bullshit. You're not going to drop a half-assed product because at the end of the day, if you do, you will lose out. Nintendo wasn't worried back then because no matter what the sales pitch was, you had to assume all the risk. And if it worked out, maybe Nintendo give you a bigger percentage, a bigger portion, lower the licensing fees, cut your deal on the cartridges. Who knows? If it did not work out, well, hell, you took the loss. That's why it was such a big thing to have that Nintendo seal of quality stamp on the game. See, today, there is virtually no risk. Developers are being paid under the table by console manufacturers. You got Activision being paid for either timed DLC or exclusive DLC. Same thing with Ubisoft when it came to Watch Dogs. It's sad, but this is the reason why, in my opinion, that we get or have been getting so many half-assed games, so many half-assed products from these developers and publishers, because they're no longer taking on all the risk. For example, Street Fighter V. Yes, let's talk about Street Fighter V. Street Fighter is not an expensive game to develop, and Capcom is not broke. They're still getting a nice paycheck from Nintendo when it comes to Monster Hunter. So, that's a very profitable franchise for them. But Street Fighter V was not going to break the bank. I'm sure that was not a $100 million game like Destiny was. However, Sony paid for that game. That's why it is exclusive. Street Fighter V has always been a multi-platform game, but it became an exclusive because Sony paid for it. They wrote a blank check to Capcom, and they paid for that game to be strictly on their console platform. In addition to that, I'm pretty sure Sony paid for most of the advertising. I'm not sure. I don't work for them, but I can almost guarantee you they did. Capcom has never dropped a lackluster Street Fighter title, not that I can think of. And I play all the games dating back to Street Fighter 2 all the way up to Ultra Street Fighter 4. Still own many games such as the Street Fighter Collection on the Sega Saturn and Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, things like that. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure Sony wrote some blank checks. And Capcom released a half-ass, lackluster product. Technically, the game is pitiful. It looks great. It seems like it plays well, but the lack of content is sad. The technical issues, especially with the online servers at launch, sad. This has never been done before by Capcom. Not when it comes to Street Fighter, not that I can recall. But it happened. Why? You're not working on multiple versions of the game for various platforms. You have to work on two, PlayStation 4 and PC. And let's be honest, a PlayStation 4 is basically a bargain bin PC. So to me, that's still basically one platform. But why did this happen? Because Capcom, their risk is low. If there is any risk, Sony paid for it all. Capcom didn't give a shit. They got paid already. This is the problem. I'm pretty sure the same goes for Watch Dogs and things like that. Even Grand Theft Auto, I'm pretty sure Microsoft and Sony paid tons of money for the advertising at least. And look at Destiny. Sony advertised that game as if it was an exclusive game. But it wasn't. It was on almost every damn platform. But I can guarantee you, Sony wrote a blank check to pay for the exclusive advertising. And they're doing the same thing that Microsoft did last generation when it comes to Call of Duty. They're basically the spokes console for it. They're getting the DLC first. That costs money. Even Phil Spencer has come out and said that we're no longer going to do that. We're going to focus on our own console, our own games. We're going to develop exclusive content. Because there's no risk. And see, that's why Microsoft has been making smarter decisions, at least in my opinion. Because the purse strings to the core of the company has been cut. The Xbox division can no longer rely on Papa to pay the bills. When you have to stand on your own 2 feet, you have to look at things differently, because you can go out of business by giving your money, every single dime you make, to somebody else. When you assume all the risk, you have to get very creative. Microsoft is doing it. I'm not giving Microsoft more credit than Sony. I'm not doing that. I'm simply just laying out what I believe is happening. I'm laying out from what I learned from experience and what any person with any type of business savvy or business sense would know. When you have to assume risk, whether it be most or all, you have to think carefully about how you conduct yourself. And since these companies are having console makers pay for advertising or pay for the production of the game, that's why you get half-ass products. That's why you get half-ass games with a whole game worth of DLC sold to you separately. That's how you get Metal Gear Solid Ground Zero. That's how you get Street Fighter V. That's how you get Evolve. And Sony cut ties already at dawn. Just like that. So, these developers, we won't start getting quality games as we did back in the day from these developers and publishers until they have to assume all the damn risk. But anyway, that's all I have for the developer and publisher aspect of this video series. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as I always say, keep it gaming.